New pictures of rapper K-Flock show the steps he has taken to protect himself since being moved to federal jail, where danger could be found anywhere. The dangers against him have grown stronger, putting K-Flock in a dangerous game of survival. However, the things he is doing to stay alive might end up making him live longer. Behind bars. Clock's life in jail drill means he won't be going home anytime soon. Clock's bad luck got even worse when he was charged with RICO crimes in 2023 for his participation in gang activities. After being held on Rikers Island while waiting to be tried for murder, the rapper was sent to the Essex County Jail in Newark, New Jersey, where he would likely face longer terms of jail time. Recent events at Essex County Jail have given the prison a bad name. In January 2024, the jail's general management and the safety of its inmates were seriously questioned after the facility's violent culture came to light. An inmate died at University Hospital after being a patient there for a couple of days. A county representative said that the death seemed to have been normal, but the results of the autopsy were still not in yet. This incident is just one of many that have highlighted the dangerous and often deadly situation within the jail in 2021. Alone, there were 6 known deaths at Essex County Jail. These deaths have sparked outrage and calls for change, but the violence has continued unabated. One of the most recent events happened at the jail on a Thursday in January 2024, when there was a fight that left a few people hurt. Internal affairs officers began an investigation into the altercation, which is just one of many violent incidents that have plagued the facility. The frequent violence at Essex County Jail has had a profound effect on the inmates, many of whom live in constant fear for their safety. Fights and assaults are common, and the jail staff often struggle to keep control. Inmates have reported being attacked with homemade weapons such as shanks and other improvised tools. These violent encounters often end in serious injuries, and in some cases, death. The pervasive violence has created a mindset of fear and mistrust among the inmates, making it difficult for them to feel safe or secure. The idea of impending danger is probably why Clock hasn't been resting on his laurels behind bars in a new video released as K-Flock awaits trial behind bars. His transformation has become a topic of intense conversation. The one slender rapper known for his ponytail and streetwear style now sports a completely different look that has left fans and the public in shock in recent photos and videos that appeared on social media. K-Flock is seen shirtless, flaunting a muscular build that contrasts sharply with his previous look. His hair, once pulled back in a ponytail, now flows down to his shoulders in thick dreads. This dramatic change has caused a wave of reactions online. The videos taken during a jail call show K-Flocked confidently, displaying his new physique. His friend who recorded the call stated that about 700 people were tuned into the live video on Instagram. However, being locked up at Essex County Jail as a famous rapper with gang ties comes with its own danger, and K-Flock needs to watch his back all the time in 2023. Brooklyn rapper Casanova, who was also facing trial at the time, was caught lacking, and he almost paid for it with his life. In November 2020, Casanova was indicted on multiple charges, including plot to commit racketeering, conspiracy to distribute controlled substances, and possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. The charges were part of a wide indictment against the untouchable Gorilla Stone Nation Bloods gang, which included 18 other members faced with overwhelming evidence, Casanova pleading guilty to the charges in May 2022. His admission of guilt was a major blow to his career and personal life. He acknowledged his participation in the gang's activities and expressed regret for his actions. Casanova's plea deal meant that he faced a potential sentence of 5 to 60 years in jail, a stark contrast to the life of fame and success he had built in the rap business. Casanova's decision to renounce his ties to the gang Gorilla Stone Nation would later lead to an attempt on his life. However, K-Flock doesn't look to be following in Casanova's paths if the rapper's recent moves are anything to go by. On June 15, 2023, Casanova was involved in a vicious fight with fellow inmate Ulysses Lugo at the Essex County Correctional Facility, according to reports from NBC New York. The altercation began when fellow inmate Ulysses Lugo started a vicious attack on Casanova armed with a blade-like weapon. Lugo cut Casanova across the face, leaving him with a deep and bloody gash. The attack was sudden and fierce, catching Casanova off guard. However, despite his injuries, Casanova did not back down. In a shocking turn of events, he chased Lugo alongside other prisoners and retaliated by cutting Lugo's face several times. The immediate aftermath of the attack saw both Casanova and Lugo getting medical attention for their injuries. Casanova's face was severely slashed, and he needed stitches to close the wound. Lugo, on the other hand, received multiple cuts to his face inflicted by Casanova during the retaliation. One would expect K-Flock to be on his best behavior, especially with the amount of jail time he is facing. However, instead of keeping away from gang activities and giving his lawyers something to work with to get a reduced sentence, K-Flock has been doing the opposite. K-Flock was pictured with some gang members when he joined a live stream from jail. The shirtless rapper was also throwing gang signs and salutations to the other people on the show. After the stream stopped, fans soon identified the mysterious guys as members of the infamous group Owns Every Dollar of OED. To the roots of the OWN. Every Dollar Gang, or OED, are deeply rooted in the notorious Trinitarios gang. The Trinitarios, a well-organized Dominican gang, was formed nearly 3 decades ago on Rikers Island, known for their brutal and violent tactics. The trio has made a name for themselves in New York's crime underworld. One of their most infamous crimes happened in 2018, when several members dragged a 15-year-old boy from a Bronx bodega and hacked him to death using knives and a machete. The OED gang formed as a particularly dangerous subgroup within the Trinitarios, operating mainly in the Washington Heights neighborhood of Manhattan. OED members spread their reach to the Bronx and Queens. Their actions included a wide range of violent crimes such as murders, robberies, assaults, and shootings. The gang's main goal was to protect and expand their narcotics business, targeting rival dealers and even fellow OED members considered disloyal. Meanwhile, just like K-Flock, some members of the OED group have also been recently charged. 24 individuals linked to the OED gang were indicted on federal and state charges, including Hugo Rodriguez, known as Elte, who was in charge of criminal activities and recruitment. He directed members to start upon missions. Another key figure was a lieutenant known as the Discipline, who imposed rules by subjecting members to violent punishment or expulsion. Casco Negro, or Black Helmet, was responsible for security and getting firearms. He also accompanied members on missions to ensure they were finished. However, despite Clock's appearance with members of the gang, it doesn't appear like he's jumping ship, given top OED members are facing legal charges of their own. Also, OED doesn't appear to have any feud with DOA aside from the gang K-Flock is associated with. Meanwhile, working out is not the only thing K-Flock has taken seriously while in jail. During the recent Eid Kabir celebrations, the rapper posted a picture from prison to enjoy the event. Clock's religion had been a hot topic for debate in recent weeks after the rapper first announced his conversion to Islam with a tweet after his indictment. However, fans didn't know if K-Flock was serious or joking, and the rapper put all speculations to bed when he appeared in another live stream from prison, this time with the YouTuber Kony. During their discussions, Kony asked K-Flock if he was truly a Muslim, to which K-Flock responded,
Yeah. Allah.
Present state of K-Flock's legal cases. On December 16, 2021, the streets of the Sugar Hill area in New York were rocked by a short but deadly hail of bullets. The event would lead to the tragic death of 16-year-old Oscar Hernandez, also known as O Waka, and the arrest of Bronx drill rapper K-Flock. CCTV cameras caught the chilling moments leading up to the shooting. Oscar Hernandez was inside a barber shop when he allegedly spotted K-Flock walking by. Hernandez left the shop and began following Flock. The two walked off camera, and within minutes, shots were fired. Hernandez was hit in the back and neck, succumbing to his injuries days later on December 23rd. K. Flock turned himself into the NYPD. He was charged with first-degree murder, a charge that carries severe penalties. But what initially seemed like a straightforward case of a shooting quickly snowballed into something much larger and more complex as the investigation continued. The feds began to build a substantial case against K. Flock in late February 2123, more than 2 years after he initially turned himself in. K. Flock was arrested on RICO charges. These claims included racketeering, attempted murder, and murder, among others. The Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, commonly known as RICO, is a powerful legal tool used by federal prosecutors to fight organized crime. The indictment against K. Flock and 7 others accused them of running the Side OA Gang, an infamous group based in the Bronx, New York. The charges in the RICO indictment are serious and wide-ranging. They include racketeering, plot, murder, use of a firearm resulting in death, attempted murder, and assault with a dangerous weapon. These claims paint a picture of a violent and dangerous organization involved in multiple criminal activities. The indictment claims that K. Flock and his associates were responsible for a series of violent crimes, including shootings and assaults, aimed at maintaining their power and influence in the Bronx. The consequences of these charges are staggering. If convicted, K. Flock faces a mandatory life sentence. The RICO Act allows prosecutors to charge individuals with a pattern of criminal behavior rather than just individual crimes. This means that even if K. Flock is not convicted of murder, he could still face life in jail if found guilty of the other charges. The severity of the possible penalties underscores the gravity of the situation and the high stakes involved. One of the earliest incidents detailed in the indictment happened on June 20, 2020. On this day, K. Flock, along with Michael Gant and Isaiah Rousson, reportedly shot at rival gang members. This act of violence was just the beginning of a series of retaliatory attacks that would grow over the next few months. Just 6 days later, on June 26, 2020, Nicholas Johnson, another member of the gang, was accused of shooting at a rival gang member. The summer of 2020 was marked by a relentless cycle of violence, with each shooting fueling further vengeance. On July 7, 2020, Michael Gant was reportedly involved in another shooting targeting rival gang members. This was followed by yet another shooting on July 16, 2020, where Gant once again reportedly shot at rival gang members. The regularity of these attacks highlighted the escalating gang war that was gripping the neighborhood. The federal RICO charge against K. Flock is not a unique incident in the world of hip-hop. Over the years, many rappers have found themselves entangled in legal problems that have had major impacts on their careers. However, for those who have followed Flock's career, this indictment was always an inevitability. You see, K. Flock grew up in the gritty and unforgiving streets of the Bronx, especially in the Sevside area around East 187th Street. This neighborhood, known for its high crime rates and gang activity, played a major role in shaping his early life and exposing him to the harsh realities of street culture. From a young age, K. Flock was surrounded by the sights and sounds of gang life, with the steady presence of gangbangers, drug dealers, and violence becoming a part of his everyday existence. The Sevside historically has been a hotbed for gang activity, with different crews and sets vying for control and dominance. The Hilltop Young Bosses, or HTBs, were one of the notable gangs in the area, often seen mobbing through the streets, claiming their territory, and declaring their intentions to eliminate any rivals. These early influences left a lasting effect on young K. Flock, who witnessed firsthand the power and respect that came with being part of a gang. Growing up in such a setting, it was almost inevitable that Kevin would be drawn into the world of gangs. The allure of protection, camaraderie, and a sense of belonging were powerful motivators for a young boy navigating the dangerous streets of the Bronx. The HTBs, along with other gangs like the Mac Baller Brims and Sex Money Merbloods, became the role models for many youths in the neighborhood, including K. Flock. As K. Flock hit his teenage years, he began to immerse himself more deeply in the gang culture that surrounded him. The streets of Sevenside were a battleground with constant turf wars and violent battles between rival gangs. The 700 DOA crew, a modern-day gang that emerged from Sevenside, became one of the most powerful groups in the area. This crew was a mixture of different sub-gang sets, including the Mac Baller Brims and Sex Money Murder Bloods, as well as gangs like the Rolling Eights. The complicated web of alliances and rivalries within the Bronx gang scene made it a dangerous and unpredictable environment. K-Flock found himself gravitating towards the 700 DOA crew, the crew's character for being ruthless, and their identification as EBK, or everybody. Killers meant that they had no specific enemies they hated. Everyone, this mentality resonated with K-Flock, who had already experienced the treacherous nature of gang life and understood the value of loyalty and survival. The influence of older gang members and the constant exposure to violence and crime further solidified Clock's path into gang life. He began to participate in various gang activities, from petty crimes to more serious offenses, as a way to show his loyalty and earn his stripes within the crew. The streets of the Bronx were unforgiving, and K-Flock quickly learned that trust was a rare commodity, and betrayal could come from any corner. Despite the dangers, there was a sense of pride and identity that came with being part of the 700 DOA crew. The camaraderie and brotherhood among the gang members provided a support system that many young men in the Bronx lacked for K-Flock. The gang became his family, offering him a sense of belonging and purpose in a world that often seemed chaotic and hostile. The complexities of gang politics in the Bronx meant that alliances and rivalries were constantly shifting. Clock's music often mirrored these dynamics, with his lyrics serving as a commentary on the ever-changing landscape of gang life. His songs were filled with references to specific events, people, and beefs, providing listeners with a glimpse into the dangerous world he navigated daily. One of the most important turning points in Clock's career was his involvement in a high-profile chain-snatching incident. Doug B., one of his closest friends and partners, was seen posing with a stolen chain online, which led to his arrest and subsequent time in jail. K-Flock, undeterred, continued to make music and even bragged about the event on social media. This event showed the blurred lines between his music and gang life, with each influencing and reinforcing the other. K-Flock be released anytime soon. Clock's murder and RICO charges have seen the rapper locked up for more than a year. However, despite the gravity of these accusations, Clock's legal team is fighting fiercely to secure his release. According to new court documents, they have recently asked that he be released on a $1.4 million bail. Their case hinges on the claim that K-Flock has no major criminal history and has not given authorities any reason to distrust him aside from the current charges. This is a bold statement considering the nature of the allegations against him, but the defense team isn't stopping at just a bail request. They are also proposing that K-Flock be put on house arrest if the judge decides to grant the motion. Describes strict conditions, including GPS monitoring, posting important properties as collateral, and having a third-party custodian. These measures are meant to ensure public safety while allowing K-Flock to prepare for his upcoming trial, which is scheduled to begin in September 2012. 4. The proposal for house arrest is particularly noteworthy. It means that K-Flock would be confined to his home with his movements closely monitored by authorities. The GPS tracking would provide real-time updates on his location, ensuring that he does not leave his assigned area. Posting significant properties as security adds a financial incentive for him to comply with the terms of his release, while a third-party custodian would offer an additional layer of oversight. This comprehensive bail package is a calculated move by Clock's legal team to address any concerns about public safety and demonstrate their client's commitment to appearing in court. However, the decision ultimately rests with the judge, who must weigh the arguments presented by both the defense and the prosecution. K-Flock is facing the maximum sentence of life in prison if convicted. However, he isn't the first rapper to face the danger of living the rest of his life behind bars. Ironically, one of the rappers, K-Flock, took a picture with Locked alongside in Essex County Jail and was also convicted on a RICO charge. I'm talking about fight rapper Sue Surf. Rion Cox, better known by his stage name, Sue Surf, came from the streets of Newark, New Jersey, with a raw talent that quickly caught the attention of the hip-hop community, known for his intense battle rap performances and lyrical prowess. Surf carved out a place for himself in the competitive world of rap battles. His ability to weave intricate wordplay with street narratives made him a standout figure in the fight rap scene. So Surf's rise in the music business was meteoric. He became a staple on platforms like URL Ultimate Rap League, where his battles garnered millions of views. His reputation as a formidable opponent grew, and with it, his fan group. Surf's music career also flourished with mixtapes and albums that showed his versatility as an artist. However, behind the scenes, a darker narrative was unfolding. From 2015 to September 2022, Surf was connected with the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips, a notorious gang known for its violent activities and drug distribution. Surf held a leadership role within the gang, a post that came with significant influence and responsibility. Despite his success in the music business, Surf's involvement with the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips ultimately led to his downfall. In October 2022, Surf's criminal activities caught up with him in a dramatic way. He was arrested after a tense standoff with police at a home in New Jersey, where he was barricaded inside with a woman. The standoff lasted for hours before Surf finally surrendered to the police in April 2023. Surf made a pivotal decision. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of racketeering conspiracy and having firearms and ammo as a con. The Thislea deal was an important moment, significant moment. In the case, as it meant Surf was admitting to his role in the criminal business and the illegal activities that came with it by pleading guilty, Surf faced the possibility of up to 30 years in prison. On November 30th, 2023, the day of reckoning came. Surf appeared in New York federal court, where Judge Susan D. Wagon handed down his punishment. Surf was sentenced to 60 months in jail with no chance of parole. In addition to the prison time, he was given 3 years of supervised release and a $115,000 fine. Another mainstream rapper who faced RICO charges but was able to get a reduced sentence for cooperating is Brooklyn, New York. Rapper 69, in an attempt to bolster his reputation among certain hip-hop fans,